Welcome to today's Welsh Wire. We've got two guests on the show with us today, which is so exciting. We're producing today's show in conjunction with our friends at the Family Business Alliance, and we're delighted to have with us one of FBA's underwriters, the folks from Hungerford, Nichols, CPA and Advisors. We've got Tessa Kina and Katie Felver both with us. Hey, welcome to the Welsh Wire, ladies.
Oh my gosh, thanks.
So glad to have you here. We're going to talk today a little bit about something the two of you know well, and that's mentoring. And this is going to be a great show for folks who are interested in learning more about really what it means to be a mentor or a mentee, what the value is in that for their organization, and also maybe hear a little success story of, you know, how mentoring has really made a difference in your careers. So, you know, one of the things I find interesting is to learn about our guests when they first come on the show. So why don't we start with you, Tessa? Tell us a little bit about who you are and your background and what you do there at Hungerford Nichols.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm Tessa Kina. I have been with Hungerford Nichols for 9 years now, and my role has evolved over the years. I started out at a staff accountant level and have worked my way up to senior manager. And I have the opportunity to work with a variety of clients in a variety of different industries, both in the for-profit and not-for-profit industries. And, you know, I'm able to be a business advisor in many different ways. And I think the biggest thing for me and for our whole team is really identifying areas that we can help the clients and provide solutions to them, whether it be accounting solutions, technology solutions, business process solutions. So it's really been a great adventure. Excited. There's, I think, just so many opportunities ahead, you know, and we just have such a great team. We love working with all the people we work with.
Right. You love what you do. That's so obvious when we talk together. Absolutely. And Katie, tell us a little bit about your background. What do you do there at the firm?
Great, thanks. And thank you again, too, for having me. I've been with Hungerford Nichols just coming up on 2 years. I come from a background a little bit different than Tessa's. I didn't really grow up in that public accounting platform, but I came along in my career through corporate accounting. So I bring to the table just a little bit different perspectives. I enjoy working with a variety of clients. My favorite part, though, of my job is working with business owners and helping them figure out strategy of their firm. And that's not just business process. That's like accounting process or referring like technology processes and people processes. And then I equally enjoy being a mentor to all the different people on our team, including Tessa. I've been just very blessed. I get back from her tenfold what I get, and she's always just telling me, you know, you bring so much to the table too. So it just goes both ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they value everything that we do. So that's exciting too.
That is terrific. Yeah, it's a great firm that you work for. And I know they take very seriously the role of advisor to clients. It's more than just audits and tax returns. I mean, the advising piece of what you do, you take very, very seriously, and you take succession planning seriously. You talk with your clients about that. It's an important thing. And one of the things I know that you do is you encourage business owners and leaders to do as part of that succession planning is to consider mentoring and working that into their strategy. So tell us, how can mentoring help you as a business owner or business leader? How can it help you plan for the future? What can it do for you, Tessa?
Well, I think, you know, one of the biggest things we've learned as a firm, you know, we're celebrating 79 years of being a firm this year. And so we've gone through a lot of different succession plans. And we've had a lot of, you know, people start at different areas and levels in their career and grow to be where they're at now. And what we've realized is that there's such an importance both in our own organization, but also as we identify a lot of the businesses that we're working with. We work with a lot of, you know, closely held family-owned businesses.
Right.
And, you know, you don't learn everything when you go to school. And, you know, the hope is that you're learning it on the job, but sometimes there's certain parts of the job that you need others to provide insight and advising within. And that comes in the form of a mentor.
Right.
And, some of the things that we look at, are at different levels within the organization. So it doesn't mean that, one person that's set up for, the next person in line to run the company, they're the only one that is, deserving of mentorship. We really like to look at who else in the organization is there and, could benefit from this type of program. And how can we help to develop their skills, because they also might be great leaders within the organization. We just need to encourage them through just some different avenues.
Right. And I'm sure it's true that the mentoring might come from someone in the organization at a lower level, depending on the skills or technical expertise that needs to be acquired. Also might come from someone outside the organization, even. Because presidents and owners can still benefit from having a mentor relationship, and that may need to come from someone that's underneath them, maybe from a technical skill, or from someone outside the company that help them with things that they don't know as well as they should.
Yeah, and one of the things that, I love about the relationship that we've been able to develop just internally, Katie's just been an asset to our team and to the firm, because she's able to bring just a different life experience and work experience, so that we're able to speak to our clients in a way that we're able to step into their shoes, because, Katie was able to have worked in, maybe that arena at some point and can offer some really great advice. And so for us, I think we take the idea that we can, in a way, as their business advisor, also be a mentor.
Yeah.
And also take it to that next level of identifying some really good business partners that we might know that, either have a business for that, or maybe they have experience in that specific industry and they're further along in their career, and possibly connecting, them with one of our clients, or someone that, we're working with, to say, this might be a great relationship, let's connect you and see if something develops out of that. And then they can be that external voice for helping them grow in their career and in their organization.
That is so valuable, to serve as the role of connector like that, because you can make introductions to people that they might otherwise never have known or gotten acquainted with, but for, your involvement with them. So that's so valuable. And your needs change over time. As a business leader, what you need today might not be the same as what you will need in 2 years or 4 years down the road. So to be able to have a resource like that for you as an advisor to say, what do you need today? Where do you need to head now? What are the resources we can help connect you with? That's huge, because it changes over time, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Katie, maybe you could speak to that a little bit too, just because we've seen just over the years how the impact of changes in the business, might mean that there's some additional outside help that's needed at various levels.
Yeah, thank you. So a couple things. I think if you go to our Hungerford website, one of the things I think you would pick up on is that, which is probably true for most service providers like us, but we're interested in helping clients that are in that growth mode, right? Mm-hmm. But life is changing, and our baby boomers are getting near retirement age. But what's really interesting, and I think specifically around family-owned businesses, a lot of family-owned businesses are led by the entrepreneurs that started the business. Mm-hmm. And so it's even more unique to say to them, okay, what is your succession plan? What are your plans for retirement? Are your plans to bring up a new generation of leaders to kind of continue that business? Mm-hmm. Is your plan to have an exit strategy that you're going to grow that business to a certain, value, and then you're going to have a, strategic exit plan that you're going to maybe sell your business? So kind of getting into what do you need as that business owner? And oftentimes you might catch business owners a little bit off guard. Like, I'm not ready to think about that. That's uncomfortable. But it's
Right.
really helping them break down that barrier and say, you know, inevitably we need to have those conversations. And then
Absolutely.
how do we help that business owner really get comfortable and identify those talents in their firm? Like Tessa talked about, talents come in all different shapes and sizes and levels.
Right.
And I think that because we're really in the pulse of working with our clients, we have the privilege of learning different, you know, learning and meeting different people in the organization. So we can also help unveil to the business owner, like, hey, have you seen this person in your organization that they have this interest or this talent? And maybe we need to like delve into that a little bit more.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, your words are well spoken and so true, and should be encouraging our listeners to really take a closer look at who they have in their organization as they think forward about the future of their company and what those individuals need in terms of development, professional development, to get to where you need them to be for you as owners and leaders to step back and exit the company, because it's happening. And it's so great that you as an organization have been able to do this, repeat this succession planning and mentoring successfully for 79 years. So you've really dialed into some magic here, some secret sauce as to how it worked.
Wow.
You both know a little bit about mentoring because you've been working together for a little while now, a couple years.
Yeah.
The two of you have been working together. Okay. So tell us about your relationship as mentor and mentee and sort of how that came to be.
So, do you want to start, Katie, or you want?
You go first.
Okay. So, you know, I really, I believe that, you know, God has really orchestrated some really cool things in my own life, and just in the lives of people around me. And a couple of years ago, we weren't looking necessarily for this position, but Katie's resume came across my plate, and I kind of identified her as a possibility for a client. And then as I thought more about it and talked with her, I thought, well, you know what? She would be great for our firm. And one thing led to another, and you know, she joined our team, and it's just been, and I tell her this all the time, so I'm not just saying this because we're on online, but really Katie's been just such a blessing to our department, our firm, and our clients. And just her ability to step into a position and to kind of see what's going on and really to give some really great advice. You know, for me personally, as I've grown in my career, I've definitely had many different mentors that I've been able to reach out to, some that just were there because it was part of the firm, others that I've reached out to outside of the firm. And they've all spoken into different areas of my life and helped in my growth. But one of the things I think that's so special about Katie is that she's able to see kind of everything that's kind of going around, and then, you know, be very truthful and honest with you. Yeah. And in an encouraging way. You know, we really, right. You know, sometimes it's hard to give constructive criticism and feedback, but when you can do it in a way that is encouraging, I think that's what's really helpful, you know, to whoever that you're working with or mentoring. And that's something that, you know, she's been in my life. And I would say 100% that I've seen growth in my life and as a leader, and even as, you know, as a mom and a wife, you know, because of the influence Katie's had in my life.
Oh, that's terrific. And it takes time. I mean, such an investment of time that the two of you have put into this. Obviously, you care deeply about each other and each other's success too. So, Katie, how did you develop that level of trust to be able to speak into Tessa's life with such power and impact to help her become who she is today? I mean, talk a little bit about that and what the whole relationship has meant to you as well.
Thank you. So when I came into Hungerford, I came in at a time where there was change going on, right? Which is typical of a lot of organizations. And at the time we had a shareholder who was getting ready to retire, who had just a powerful presence in the organization. And then we had this really incredible leader who was growing in her role in the organization. And we have this pillar of services we call accounting solutions team. And each one of these really kind of hit me as a, wow, I can't wait to really try to help our shareholder exit, our leader grow, and it's become a little bit of a personal mission of mine. Tessa is going to be the most incredible leader. She has so much fortitude and so much passion. And every day that I get the privilege to work with her, I learn from her equally. But it's really, I think that energy and, you know, at some point in time, and I think a lot of business owners have this struggle a little bit too, and that's, how do you balance? How do you level set? How do you pick what the priorities are? So
Yeah.
it's really, I can be that sounding board and help her stay focused on the goal.
Yes.
And then I can try to help bring other ideas and solutions where we can balance the things that maybe she doesn't need to be doing right now.
Right.
And she's also really gifted with words. And I certainly don't want to leave today without a couple of your special quotes of the day, because it's true. And this is how she lives every single day. And this is why it's so easy to just kind of help be that backbone and help her grow. And I feel like that's why I was called here. And I am so excited to be part of Hungerford Nichols, to be part of this team, because every day we are empowered to be part of our clients and help our clients have better work environments, be better business leaders to their employees. And in return, we're just all making a better community.
Right. Oh, for sure. I mean, it's clear to see that you both have applied your joy and passion in such a rich and powerful way to help each other's lives and really to further your firm and to make an impact with your clients too, which is so, so cool. So it's clear that that mentoring has had an impact for both of you. So 2 years you've been working together, and Tessa, you have credited Katie with really having a huge impact on your career. And a recent accomplishment kind of shows maybe what kind of an impact she's really had. Tell us about that honor that you received recently.
So recently we received word that I was accepted as one of the 40 under 40 business leaders for the Greenwich Business Journal. Thank you.
Yes,
and
it's
that's
so
also
exciting.
That's thanks in part to, you know, Katie and Heather from our firm's nomination and their belief, you know, in my success. And, you know, going through the process was, you know, Katie was part of it. You know, you actually have to, once you're nominated and accepted, you do still have to go through an application process, and you have to talk about your journey and your growth into this leadership role. And, you know, when I look back on just, you know, some of the different, you know, impacts that happened over the years, you know, I love looking at different quotes. And, you know, one of my favorite quotes, and I say this all the time, is from Sir Isaac Newton, that I've seen further because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. And I would not be here today if it wasn't for so many people that invested in my life, Katie being one of them, many from our firm, and then also those from kind of outside of our firm. But really, you know, being there to be a resource, to be just someone to listen to and to get feedback from. It's just been part of my journey, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for that. And I think that's why it's so important that, you know, business owners, especially in the family business, you know, community, really look at, you know, what opportunities are there to invest in their people. You know, people are our biggest asset, and making an investment is one of the most important things that you can do. And I think that I'm proof of that. You know, it's
100%. And it's hard to find the time to make that investment, right? There's a cost associated with making that investment. I mean, talk about that a little bit. It's not easy.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Katie and I talk about this all the time. I mean, there's so many different, you know, challenges that business owners face every day, and, you know, different expenses that they have to look at as what's more important for where I'm at right now. And I think one of the most important things that we talk about with planning for your business and hopefully succession planning, even at the early stages of the business, is that investment worth it, for you? And Kate, maybe you could speak to this a little bit about, not making the investment and what that might look at from a business aspect.
Yeah. You know, it as Tessa pointed out, our clients are in, that traditional bell-shaped curve, right? You've got the, your entry level growth, and then you've got that maturity stage, and then they're doing their exit planning. And it's a very unique conversation with the business owner, depending on where they're at. But sometimes that business owner they have so much pressure today, especially, good heavens, in this COVID environment, right? And some businesses who have just had to close or are barely hanging on by a thread. And yet we have to be intentional, and we have to understand that all of our employees are at different places during this time, and taking that time to really invest and say, all right, I'm here, I'm going to pause, I'm going to be a good leader, I'm going to listen, what are your needs? And you know what? I think 9 times out of 10, that employee is going to say, I'm going to work harder for this person because they took the time and they cared. They asked about my family. They cared that, am I working from home okay? Am I content, or is it stressful? And we are so blessed by the incredible shareholders at Hungerford and how much they care about us, that they really empower us to put our clients first.
Right.
And make sure that they're taken care of. But it's so important to have those conversations and let your employees know that you're there for them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it really increases employee engagement. And if you want them to stay for the long haul, they need to know that you really, really care. That's so true. And, you kind of alluded to the fact that there's a huge opportunity cost of choosing not to invest in your employees, choosing not to mentor them and care about them and really sow into their success. Your business could suffer greatly if you don't do it. But the flip side of that is a great example that the two of you have shown and shared with our listeners today about what can happen when you make that investment in someone, and how their career can soar and the business can soar as a result of their success that's been mentored by great folks. So we thank you for sharing your story today. And listen, if our listeners want to know more about your programs and mentoring and some of the advising work that you've done and helping folks with succession planning, or just want to get to know you on a personal level, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you and reach out to you?
Yes, so you can find us on our website, hungerfordnichols.com, and we'd love to hear from you. We love people. We love helping, and it's our desire to be there as a resource for everyone at every stage, of their business cycle. And so we love to be a support for you. I'd love to leave you with a couple challenges to the listeners. I love quotes, as I said earlier, and our pastor said this one time. He said, the more mature you are, the more sacrifice you make for the people coming behind you. And I think that's something that, is so relevant to the leadership, to understand, even at my level, I'm still a young leader, but it's still an important challenge to know that, we are the ones that help bring the next generation along. So kind of being mindful of that, but also for someone that maybe is not in a leadership role yet, or maybe is working towards that, to not be afraid to ask for a mentor or to seek out a mentor. Sometimes you have to, go forth and find that on your own. And that's okay. But I think, if both parties are doing their work, I think that it will be a really successful opportunity, for the organization and the people that are involved.
Right. Oh, for sure. Well, thank you for sharing that as we close. Again, Tessa Kina and Katie Felver from Hungerford Nichols CPAs and Advisors, underwriters with the Family Business Alliance, and we're thrilled to have them as our guests on our FBA show today on the Welsh Wire. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.